wanted to have this as a shorter version of just the NG95 hose changeover, separate from my coil pack video. You know, the coil pack video has a lot of information. This is just a nice quick hit. You can go through, you can look at it, you can see how the hose needs to be modified real quick, so you can just get it done in your garage and not have a problem. You know, not have any problems. If you have any questions, anything like that, comment below. Check my blog on saabdoctor.com and enjoy the video. So we're going to have the fun of modifying these NG95, that's New Gen 95 hoses. Here's the part number right here. I'll put links to where to find them on esaabparts.com below. Huge shout out to Saab Parts once again. Matt from Saab Parts is actually the one who I spoke with about doing this. We talked about how, you know, just needs to be documented a little bit better, just so others can do this a lot more easily on their own. Once again, we're doing this on a 2.8 liter 9.3 Aero. This is a 2008 specifically combi. The reason we're doing them, once again, you look at these hoses, they're just buckling on the inside. These are ready to blow. They're probably, you know, pretty close to done. We're driving the car from Milwaukee to Nashville over the next couple days, so I just want to make sure that we make it there safe. We don't have a failure on the road. I know with my sister-in-law's car, she was driving along one day, and it's funny because the hoses were already replaced. And, you know, this hose actually right in this area where this one's all buckled just split, you know, smoke everywhere. Shouldn't say smoke, it was steam everywhere. But ended up having to replace those hoses again. So we're just going to do these preventatively. Okay, so of course, before working on any cooling system stuff, if your car is hot, you know, slowly release this. I'd let it cool down a bit before releasing it, though, because you're going to be working with coolant. So just slowly turn it, let the system depressurize. This one is pretty well depressurized to begin with, so we're good there. I'm going to start by showing you how this is going to work, most likely. This hose is going to be a direct replacement, practically, for this hose right here. Like I said, I believe it's a little bit tighter. I have some different clamps for this that we're going to use, some regular worm-style clamps that I grabbed from the auto parts store. For this one, hose is a bit long, and from what it looks like, and I might have this flipped upside down right now, still need to figure it out a bit, going to have to play with it. It's going to need to be trimmed, I already know that. So, I'll get this hose out of the way, we'll figure out this bottom hose first, we'll go from there. So just, you know, grab an angle pliers, that's what I use at least. Crack this loose. These, after being on here as long as these have been, which, I mean, these are definitely factory fresh. So, you know, at this point in life, they're 10 years old. Probably going to be a little tougher to get that off. Very, very gently do this, because all you want to do is crack it loose from the plastic. You do not want to break that plastic, because if you break that, then you're going to have to buy a whole new washer bottle, or sorry, not washer bottle, reservoir bottle. They aren't that expensive, but, you know, why replace it if you don't have to, unless yours is already leaking. This side, same thing. Back it off. Give her a little bit of a twist and pull her right off. Pretty simple. Same with the back one, which is going to be the one we're going to start with. Just take her, back that one off, back this one off, give her a little gentle twist. Ooh, it's not working out too well. Part of that's probably because the hose has been leaking slightly already. There's probably already some coolant buildup in there. You really don't want to turn this too hard, just enough to, you know, break it loose so you can pull it off. There we go. Perfect. And same again with this bottom one. Alright, yeah, you're going to lose a little bit of coolant doing this. So here is the NG95 hose. I probably should have asked Matt exactly what he'd do. I didn't do that first. I like to ad-lib things, as everyone's going to learn. But let me pull this clamp off here. I heard that this one just will not work. That's what I've been told by a couple folks. Okay, be very careful with this. It looks like they put a little bit of glue on here to keep this clamp in place while they're shipping. So be extremely, extremely careful not to ruin the hose you just bought. I'm going to say this. I did buy 2 of them, just in case. Because, I mean, they're only like $3 or $4, maybe $6. I don't quite remember exactly which hose was which price, but both the hoses are relatively inexpensive. So I bought spares. Because especially around here, you never know whose car is going to end up in here next. Whose car is going to need a new one of these. Sorry, I feel like I'm fumbling this around a bit. I probably should have prepped it. There we go. Finally came off. Actually, you know something? I don't like how that went, but here, this might be the end that gets trimmed, and if it is, that's perfectly fine with me. So, let's take a look at this. So that side slips right on there. Then yeah, we trim this end a bit. That should be relatively good. Give it a spin like that. Taker, trimmer, right around here. I'm going to trim this heat wrap back a little bit and should be pretty good. So I would probably trim this. Let's see. Oh, of course the heater kicks in right when I'm talking. I'm going to trim it a little long. I'm going to trim it right about here. So I'm going to make a mark. And then I'm going to pull it off and bring it over to the table. So, hard to see, but here's the mark that I made. Actually going to take this blade, cut right into this, cut right into the hose, cut right through the sheathing here. Probably cut through the sheathing first. So I'm going to trim this about 1.25 inches from what it looks like. I'm probably actually going to go just a hair, well, I'll probably go just 1.25 inches exact. That's exactly where it looks like it should be cut. So just take her, be extremely, extremely careful. I'm not the kind of guy to necessarily practice caution that much, but, you know, I don't want anyone else getting injured, of course. Fortunately, I live about 10 minutes from the ER, and, well, they don't know my name there yet. We just moved out here, but I'm sure they will soon enough. So just cut that right off there. I'm going to grab a clamp so we can trim just, you know, this sheathing back a little bit, and then we'll go from there. This is a 3/8 to 7/8 hose clamp. It's a little big. I'm expecting this to become a little bit bigger when we put it on, because the side that goes on the reservoirs are quite a bit larger. And I'm just going to cut this sheathing back. I'm cutting it back very, very carefully to make sure that I don't damage the hose. The last thing I want is any reason for this hose to break. So just peel that back. That's actually pretty good right there. It's not perfect, but should do the job. So back to the car with it. Alright, so before we do anything, I'm going to take the cap, put it back over the top, just to make sure nothing falls in there. Just a little bit of preventative measures there, just to make sure. Last thing I want to do is drop one of these hose clamps in there, then I got to fish it out. So this is where the old adage, a little lube goes a long way, comes in. This is just a hair bigger, so you just give it a little spray. Make sure you have your hose clamp on here. Give her a little spray. Take her and then work her right over there. And it fits really, really nice and snug. When I say really snug, I mean really, really snug. Which is a huge, huge plus in comparison to the stock ones. I actually may need to trim this one a bit more looking at it now. Yeah. Well, actually no, that's going to work just perfect there. Because then we'll take this one. Looks like this 9.5 clamp will work perfect on this side. Once again, just going to want a hair of lube over that. Once again, a little bit of WD-40, just a small spray. Make sure your hose clamp is on there. Then take it and work it over there, over the reservoir a little bit. She might take a little bit of doing there to get her on. Now that WD-40 though, that should go pretty easy. You want to make sure that these are pushed in as far as possible, because the last thing you want is one of these blowing off while you're driving on the road. Because just remember, it's going to blow off on a day where it's either extremely, extremely hot or busy on the freeway or something. So you want to make sure to work those on all the way. And take them, tighten down your clamps. These constant tension clamps, literally all you do is just pop them off. There we go. Easy enough. Make sure that's straight the way you want it. One thing you're going to want to do, you're going to want to make sure you top up your fluids. This one didn't lose too much, so we're good there. So, you know, that's really all. It's pretty simple. If you have any questions, comment below. Check my blog, which is going to be on my website, which is also below, saabdoctor.com, saabdr.com. Other than that, Saab on, folks. Alright, well, now for the car side. Pretty simple. Slide that on there. You're going to tighten that down in a minute. This is where the old adage, a little lube goes a long way, comes in my opinion. I'm just putting just a little bit on the edge here, mainly because this is a bit larger than the hole on the hose. So you want to make sure that it goes over that barb without an issue. And I didn't just do that, did I? Well, got a hole in one.